The following contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Phoenix, Arizona, weighing in at 175 pounds, Phoenix's favorite son, E.J. Sparks.
In what promises to be a matchup of United Wrestling Network present versus United Wrestling Network past to determine who will be the United Wrestling Network future, E.J. Sparks has one heck of a test in this Coastline Clash matchup.
What a way to set the table, TK. You said it. I mean, we have such an athlete in E.J. Sparks against a stalwart in Kevin Martenson.
And introducing his opponent from the Electric City, weighing in at 210 pounds, BHK, Kevin Martenson.
Kevin Martenson, a fixture in the over 10-year history of the United Wrestling Network. I mean, I remember calling my very first episodes of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and seeing him dive from the stage in the Galaxy Theater in Santa Ana, California, into action with the Rock Nest Monsters at the time. This man has been a television champion, a tag team title holder many times over, one of the most decorated competitors in the history of this company and this program.
Challenge for all the gold has Kevin Martenson, and he's been through all that history, and he's still here, still standing, still fighting as hard as ever.
No question about it. And but the same can be said for his opponent.
Absolutely. Both these guys have earned their spots here at the Coastline Clash, and this should be a brawl between, like you said, the past and the present.
And Blake Troop, E.J. Sparks, no stranger to jewelry, as you put it. A three-time former Arizona State champion. He's had a recent shot at that as well, and should be a heck of a matchup. Both competed live on pay-per-view during the first season of Prime Time Live. Had some great matches on there as well. E.J. Sparks' recent victory over Jordan Cruz, what a matchup that was. This one should be a good one. Sit back, cinch it up, and get ready for a heck of a ride. Looking for the sharpshooter, the rat trap in the early seconds of this thing.
Very smart. Martenson wanted no part of the striking. Immediately went in and created a grappling exchange that almost led to that sharpshooter.
Yeah, good game plan from Kevin Martenson. You know, he's a little bit of an odd duck, is Martenson, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't come in with a strategy and a plan to every matchup that he's in.
He's a smart guy. He realized that E.J. Sparks' main advantage is going to be his striking. So by getting in and getting this to be a grappling matchup, he's essentially eliminating that striking aspect that E.J. Sparks is so good at.
Yeah, well, if you can sink in that sharpshooter in the opening seconds, you're not going to be in danger of getting hit with that roundhouse rhythm, that's for sure. Now looking for it again. All he's got to do is turn him over, and he does, but E.J. Sparks uses the momentum to his advantage and gets out of there.
Yeah, E.J. looking to needs a little bit of a breather there. I think a little surprised by what Martenson's thrown at him.
I think there was some torque on that leg, though, guys. You can see that it's given E.J. some problems. Your thoughts on this play?
Yeah, that right leg is E.J. Sparks' main kicking leg. So if there is some damage on that, that can start to sway the route that this fight is going to continue to go.
Nice agility there by E.J. Sparks to set up the striking. This is, of course, week 2 out of 3 big weeks of Coastline Clash. And you know, we should see a great wrestling match here, great striking, great grappling, everything under the sun. What we're not going to see is maybe some of the violence and chaos that we saw in our main event of week 1 of Coastline Clash, that last man standing matchup between Jordan Clearwater and Jack Bannon.
I say it every time. Chaos personified between those two. And you're talking about going back to the leg of E.J. Sparks. We've seen his opponents target that before and have some success. Now Martenson, though, it looks like going after that lower back of Sparks as well, picking him apart.
I would like to see Kevin Martenson try and keep himself attached as much as possible to E.J. We saw E.J. get off a barrage of different high-impact jumping kick attacks. And if there's any time there's space between these two, these kicks can come into play like they did right there.
Caught him on the way in, and now what a jumping back kick. You can hear it echoing off the walls of the Ocean View Pavilion. He could have him here, And I'll tell you, even though he's a former 3-time Arizona State champion, if he scores the victory over Kevin Martenson, one of the greatest to ever do it here in the United Wrestling Network, at Coastline Clash under the bright lights, I got to think this could be the biggest victory in the young career of EJ Sparks.
It would be quite the feather in the cap for EJ Sparks, but he gets caught again with a backbreaker. Martenson really targeting that area of his body now.
You know, even attacking the back, that can definitely take away a lot of the arsenal of EJ Sparks because his legs are attached to his torso. The less his body's able to do, you can start to remove some of these limb attacks, whether it's punching or kicking. If you can take the guy's body out, you can take a lot of the rest of his attacks away from him.
Kevin, yes, I'm sorry. I was just going to say measuring him here, Blake, and I got to ask you, too. You talk about taking away the kicks, but also attacking the back, does that take away maybe the torque that EJ needs for that roundhouse rhythm?
100%. It takes away a lot of his attacks and even his grappling offense and defense. Oh, here we go again. Another, big backbreaker there by Kevin. Wow.
A trifecta of lethal backbreakers there by BHK. James Kincaid, this has got to be taking its toll.
Clearly the game plan of Kevin Martenson. What is he setting up here for? Martenson going up top. What is in store for EJ Sparks? Maybe take a little bit too much time. EJ Sparks still has the agility. He scores with that kick to the head.
Phoenix's favorite son digging down deep and now sending the spaceman on a ride out of the stratosphere all the way back down to the surface. But the veteran instincts there at BHK getting to the outside, maybe the safety outside the ring, but not if Sparks has anything to say. Full head of steam.
Whoa.
Suicide dive to the outside.
You know, I was going to say that was a veteran move there by Kevin, getting on the outside so that he...
And if there's anything we know about Martenson, he hates ramps. We'll be back right after this.
Rick, do you have anything to say to expensive car repair?
They don't stand a chance against the money-saving roadside assistant, Car Shield, and Slick Rick. They better learn their ABCs, because we're always bringing Car Shield. Woo!
The legendary Dave Brown returns to Memphis Wrestling courtesy of Pro Shingle, a professional roofing company. Plus, Dave Brown returns to Call the Action. Sunday, May 16th. Tickets are on sale now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. Our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's is WWE WrestleMania BackLash. Join us Sunday, May 16th. It's free to watch. Plus, you'll get a free game card. That's Dave & Buster's Wolf Chase.
It's amazing how resilient EJ Sparks is. He seems by far the fresher of the two, even after eating that series of devastating backbreakers earlier. Pinpoint knee now by Sparks, who's caught his second win, but so tough, so much power. You know, really underrated power in BHK. It's tough to keep him down for the 1-2-3.
Underrated power, underrated resilience, the durability, but really that dive that sent Martenson into his dreaded foe, the ramp, turned the tide in this matchup. Martenson, though, the jawbreaker, looking to switch it back around in kind as the pendulum swings.
Yeah. And now the big drop kick there by BHK. He's so much history in the United Wrestling Network. BHK made his name here on Championship Wrestling in the Hollywood area, as I mentioned, from the Galaxy Theater to the Showcase Theater to Glendale Studios and now to Ocean View Pavilion. And EJ Sparks in Championship Wrestling from Arizona. We saw the maturation of this great young athlete, and now they collide, and something's got to give. Look out here. Big-time German suplex.
I thought Sparks had him on Dream Street. Cover could be all.
And Blake, there we see that power I spoke of. What a throw by BHK.
Yeah, for him to be able to see that coming, that's, again, the veteran fight IQ in there where he saw that big attack coming, was able to latch on and plant EJ Sparks in the mat. Big time. Again, going back to attacking that back. He has been putting it on EJ's back throughout this matchup.
Similar strategy that BHK used when he scored 2 victories over, member of the tag team champs, the Bodega, Danny Limelight. They had a series of great matches.
God, he is laser focused on that back of EJ Sparks.
So right now he's wrenching his back. He has a hand on his chin and a hand on the ankles with the knees in between where he's essentially hyperextending the low back after significantly damaging it throughout the matchup. He might be able to get this submission here.
Yeah, that variation of the bow and arrow. He's got it elevated surfboard style as well. And relinquishes it but damage is done.
Damage done. I don't know if Martenson had it fully locked in there. You saw him trying to adjust while he had him in the hold. Thought better of it. I would bet dollars to donuts, though, that he's going to follow up on that back of EJ Sparks yet again, and he does.
Boy, he really planted him. Drove him with that body slam. That's taken a rudimentary move and just putting that extra emphasis on it. And you can see the results. EJ's not moving and now just starts to stir. Maybe playing possum there.
God, I've heard of a second wind. EJ has even more than that, but Martenson looking to fire back.
Oh, question mark
Beautiful
kick.
question mark kick. Wow, to the back of the head there. Kevin Martenson is hurt.
Well, and we'll get more on that.
Measuring
maybe.
him.
Looking for the roundhouse rhythm. Nobody home. Nicely scouted. Big pump kick up the middle by BHK. The veteran instincts right there. Probably went to the hollow deck maybe and went over this matchup a few times. Simulated it.
Yeah, had it well scouted. Oh no, what has BHK got in store for EJ Sparks? This is damage written all over. Don't do this.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking, but now.
You can see EJ Sparks writhing in pain, holding that knee.
Screams of anguish by Phoenix's favorite son, and I don't know. And I thought maybe some remorse.
Thinking.
I thought some remorse, but perhaps not.
He's gonna. Oh my God! Somebody's got to stop this.
Wow, this is essentially a figure 4 leg lock right here. Using the corner post.
Oh my God!
And a crossface for extra measure. Now he's got to break it before 5. He can't win the matchup here. But what is Sparks going to have left after this?
Martenson just looks like he's breaking down before our very eyes. I mean, what galaxy is he in right now? Where is his head?
Well, we've seen him go for the finish several times. Twice that sharpshooter didn't work. Twice he's gone to the top rope and been countered. He is probably wondering what he has to do to put this young lion away.
Look at his eyes. What is Kevin Martenson thinking?
We saw Martenson got frustrated. He had his first shot at the Heritage title in 14 years. You know, he was an alternate in the tournament to crown the first ever United Wrestling Network world champion. I think he feels that he's been overlooked, and he's going to be overlooked no more, and he's going to get the win by any means necessary, it seems. You know, when BHK starts pulling that beard, I mean, that harkens back to Vermin, perhaps the most destructive force here in the history of this program. And you'll remember it was BHK that got rid of the second. That in SoCal distancing played a big role in taking them off the map.
Look at Sparks on one leg trying to fend off Martenson here.
Oh,
man.
man.
Let him go right back to it. Chop block of sorts. EJ Sparks right back down to the mat.
Clip in the knee there. The ligaments and tendons have got to be screaming. Look out here. Brain buster. Spikes him here on Coastline Clash. And the waters are getting rough for EJ Sparks.
Here is your winner, Kevin Martenson.
Let's take a look back at the action. Getting the victory by any means necessary. There is BHK. A replay brought to you by UnitedWrestlingShop.com. Utilizing the post. How lethal was that, guys?
Wow, the leverage he was able to create by using that goal post on the knee, incredible.
Attack downstairs, then attacking upstairs. There you see it. Brainbuster City and BHK, the past and perhaps the future. And now, you know.
He just sort of reset the leg of EJ Sparks like it undoes what he did?
Look that way. I don't think that's going to erase the tactics. But in the record book, it'll show BHK got the victory. Now collecting some of the beads, and we're going to collect ourselves. We'll be back with more Coastline Clash.